Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Check out our picks on
Season 6.
Bum.
Bum. Yes, that's right, folks. Welcome to the penultimate installment of Christmas in July 2019, aka the month where we come to our senses and realize that it's not healthy to do more than a handful of these per month, honestly.
Well, we're going to complement the sixth theme of this season,
If that's what you want to tell yourself, sure.
Way to take the mystique away from it, but sure.
All right, so Dragon, let's get into our subject. Let's reveal it right here and now. It is Evil Con Carne in Christmas Con Carne.
Yeah.
All right, so Dragon, just really quick nostalgia for Evil Con Carne, just in general. This was always, of course, the show that you had to watch to get to Billy and Mandy. And I got to admit, as a kid, I didn't really like it. It was a little bit too. I don't know. I feel like the humor maybe went over my head a little bit as a kid, just like especially all the jokes about the dictatorship and everything like that. And I got to admit, Dragon, watching this now as an adult, not only am I surprised that this show even existed, given some of its themes, but I'm kind of delighted that it does. I don't know. The show just seems to have just this surreal, absurdist quality to it. We have the evil, like the absurdist take on the evil dictator who's just switching bodies, and he's just in the form of the brain and the in the tube, and it's just really crazy stuff. And not only that, Dragon, but this episode in particular just brings in it's 6 minutes long, but we get a lot of funny setups here. It kind of feels I don't know. It really feels like they tried really hard to get a lot done and a lot of gags in there in just under that 6 minute runtime, and I feel like they really achieved something with this. Is it up there with something like the Garfield one? No, probably not. But I had a lot of fun with this one, Dragon. This was a nice one to revisit.
Yeah, I love Evil Con Carne so much. If I recall correctly, I want to say they started with Grim Adventures of Billy Manny, then ended on Evil Con Carne. I want to say either that or they used it to break up, like 'cause many times they pack them in threes. So I
I'm
think it
pretty
break.
sure it was that they used it to break them up, at
Yeah, I
least when
think
it first started.
I believe that's the case. Yeah, but yeah, and of course, eventually it would basically have success to which it would get its own spin-off. So that's kind of how that worked
Mhm.
out. But my God, I honestly, I mean, looking back on, look, the Grim Mandy is great, but I feel like let me put it this way. Bear in mind, I haven't really revisited Evil Con Carne in a while, but again, I love them so much, I kind of imprinted a lot of them to memory. But the thing is, I think Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy might have a few stinkers in the bunch. Where Evil Con Carne, I can never remember being like a little let down watching it. Bear in mind, a little bit of history in between there. To kind of, I can't really say that with complete authority,
Uh-huh.
but I still love it, man. I don't know why. It's just to me, this again, this was the I just love the absurdity of it. I love the concept of this show so much. I think what sold me on it as a kid was just the design, the original. I like the original look before they revamped it because they revamped it and it basically kind of fit the Billy and Mandy style. And again, it was fine, but I mean the original style, though, oh my goodness. The original design for Hector Con Carne, Hector on top of Boskov the bear, it just like the purples, the greens. I don't know. It always I just thought it was such an ingenious design and just a ridiculous concept. You put this well spoken Bond villain, with Phil Lamar doing kind of this Hispanic kind of Bond villain voice. he was kind of like basically kind of a dictator. Yeah, very essentially he's a dictator, obviously. But I'm saying he had kind of they had this one origin episode. I always remember because you never see Hector's body, obviously, except for one episode. And they recap it in the intro that he used to be a playboy kind of billionaire who had this giant muscular body, but you never saw his face. But he had that voice, and the idea is he met Major Dr. Ghastly, and she presented him with the brain jar thing, the whole like brain stomach you can put in a jar, and he got himself blown up, and she was there, and she saved his life by putting it in there, and eventually found a circus bear. I had so much love for it. Maybe not for any majorly good reasons, but I mean, it is really smart writing. This episode may not be the ultimate sell for the show, but it's a quick little holiday thing with some fun stuff that I really have a lot of reverence for and a lot of love.
I mean, I think this episode does show up kind of the irrelevant sort of tone that this show goes for, where every single gag kind of just throws itself at the wall. You know what I mean? It's got this irreverent tone and this kind of like, it almost feels like jazz. You know what I mean, Dragon? It almost feels like cartoon jazz, where it's just kind of like it's almost kind of shooting off the hip with some of its ideas.
Well, yeah, it is, and that's the thing. I mean, I think this is one of Phil Lamar's most underrated performances too, because it's so funny. Because he just plays this dictator who's really stupid, but he's hysterical, and he thinks he commands respect in the people around him. They know he's an idiot, but they love him. Well, the case of Major Dr. Ghastly more than Scar. I mean, this is one of my first kind of stand-up Great Delisle roles that I loved her in. I mean, I heard as Major Dr. Ghastly. I mean, this is like years before Avatar: Last Airbender. Her playing Catwoman. You had this, of course, she was playing Mandy at the same time. And of course, I mean, I'm sure obviously there are other roles, but I mean, this is like for me one of the big standouts for us. I mean, there's a lot to love about this show. Honestly, at the end of the day, just so I can get off my little blustering here about, I remember Evil Con Carne. At the end of the day, I mean, a show like Invader Zim turns me off because, yes, while it may be well aimed, I understand the fan base for it. It's just, personally, it's too cynical for my taste. Like, I can't get behind a show where humanity is just so unlikable, where, I know they're trying, that's the intent of it all. But here we have a character who's trying to take over the world, yet I'm on his side. He's going to fail miserably, but you love him, though. He's so entertaining to watch, versus Zim, where it's like, I mean, I'm rooting for him, it's because everybody else sucks, though. Anyway, so Christmas.
Yeah, so speaking of the Christmas of it all, Dragon, this is I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it is a very, very off-kilter Christmas episode, my friend.
Yeah, this Maxwell Adams is a very interesting guy. He's got a really distinct style to him. And of course, I think people have lived in the style more with Billy and Mandy. But again, this is like what I'm talking about. I know Maxwell Adams is trying to get another show on Off the Road. I think it was called, I forget there was a character called Dead Meat or if the show was called Dead Meat. But that's the last thing I heard he was trying to get kind of like a Kickstarter sort of thing, like kind of like an off the book sort of animated project. So Maxwell Adams, it's kind of nice to see what it kind of does. Kind of a spin-off land, if you will, just kind of like, okay, kind of an offshoot of like, he has the landmark show, let's see what else in his style. And again, this kind of fits in like what his style is in kind of like your Bond villains. Like, what if you followed one of them for a series, but also you kind of take that, and what this episode is, you take that and you mix it in. Like, what's Maxwell Adams' take on a Rankin Bass Christmas special? That's kind of the premise of this one. And I love it. It's off kilter, insane. But again, like Maxwell Adams, he loves doing really interesting stuff at Christmas. Because remember what he did with Billy and Mandy's Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Vampires. I wouldn't have called that one. Here we have.
All right, so let's dive right into it then.
Okay.
So our story starts like in the middle of a ghetto, Dragon.
Pretty much, you have this rundown apartment in a bad neighborhood. We have Charlie.
It's just like, man, poor snowman lives on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the irreverence here. Okay, we have like a classic Rankin Bass snowman archetype. You have a snowman narrator or storyteller or whatever. But okay, if you're a snowman, well, again, if you're not in the North Pole, where are you? Well, he's going to be in a rundown apartment telling the story. It's just like the saddest portrayal of the jovial snowman narrator. He's voiced by Charlie Adler. Here's the thing. I love the snowman is whimsical, but it's just kind of like maybe the whimsy's just kind of smoldered out of him. It's just
right.
It's there.
Right, yeah.
But he's just like, okay, Christmas.
Life's kind of beating him down a little bit.
It's like it's the holidays, like kind of a crappy rundown apartment. He's decorated the crappy rundown apartment. He says, let's talk about Christmas.
Oh God.
Of course, we're not doing Charlie Adler justice, but of course, Charlie Adler, a great director as well as a kind of voice director, I believe, in some other pieces. But of course, wonderful voice actor. I think for me, that the role I'm always going to remember Charlie Adler for. He's done so many, mind you. For me, it's going to be Ed Bighead from Rocko's Modern Life. That to me, that's the perfect. The big heads in general, I guess. Like Ed.
I got to
Charlie Adler.
admit, the ultimate Charlie Adler role for me is Red Guy.
I know that's a great. That's also a perfect bad like bad IR baboon like the great
IR Baboon, indeed, indeed.
wonderful. There's actually a little bit of an I Am Weasel connection in this episode. We'll get to it.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so let's see. I mean, they're both on Cartoon Network, so it makes perfect sense. A little kind of wheelhouse of actors. All right. Anyway, yeah. So he's basically the idea. He's our framing device. He's reading the story, basically kind of reading the episode from a little storybook here, and basically gives us the old like the Christmas that almost wasn't idea.
Can you imagine for a moment a Christmas that never happened?
Exactly.
Well, I remember long ago a Christmas that almost wasn't, in a place called the North Pole. And Dragon, I love how it's like, just really quick, just this little beat. I don't know if you agree with me, but the beat on the voice acting here is that he's almost like indecisive if he wants to talk about the North Pole, because he's just like, I remember when my life wasn't shit and I didn't used to live on the wrong side of the tracks. God damn it, those were the days.
I did pick up on that, and I thought that was great. This is what I'm talking about. This is the thing. This is like the Maxwell Adams style here, where again you have the cynic. Bear, I'm no authority on the guy. I just like his work.
Right.
You have the cynical. You have the cynical approach with the win. Basically, it's cynical meets whimsy. That's what I love about it. It's where again, it's like Invader's gonna be all cynical, where you have cynical meets whimsy. Like it's there. It's ridiculous, but it's there. Anyway, so yeah, and of course, like the year without Santa Claus, or that's kind of the archetype of the Rankin Bass special specific. A little bit of that, a little bit of we'll get to the other Rankin Bass stuff. We'll get to a little bit of the kind of snowman.
Well, hold on. There's quite a few tropes that we need to mark down right away here.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Of course, the snowman.
Bingo.
We have the reading the book is the framing device.
Of
reading
course.
The story.
Fireplace, that's very pivotal.
We have the year without a Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Christmas that almost wasn't, that kind of thing.
Of course.
I think that's it for now, unless you can think of anything else.
Well, there's stuff we're going to get to later, so I think we're all good.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm just saying, just in that little framing device.
Decorations. A place is decorated.
Yeah.
Decorated. Okay, let's see. So Santa, we're at the North Pole. Santa Claus is, is doing the Christmas Eve preparations. We have like the elves going like the la 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 la, just very unappetizing.
Honestly, both of those things are tropes right there. Just the annoying elf song and the marking down the list. Let's write it down.
And I love just with the like they're self-aware, like okay, the elf song we gotta make it a little bit annoying. You're like la la la.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
Let's see. So then
I love how we just don't waste any time here. We just get right to it.
This is just ridiculous. We have the. I'm sorry. This is a perfect. If I could have found this visual, I would have used it. Just the.
Well, I can pull it up.
Well,
I don't want to.
No, I meant just like the whole, the holding the. But I mean, as a root image, so we're fine here. So we can describe it.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, we have just this Boscov's arm holding up this little cardboard fake elf, and the Santa Claus like, okay, yes, Santa, we're ready, and Santa Claus like, wait a minute, you're too tall to be an elf. I realize it's literally just like it's so plainly obvious if you just look past the little cardboard guy, it's a giant circus bear holding up a little cardboard elf. Of course. Like, do I know you? Of course, played by the wonderful Frank Welker, by the way, playing Santa Claus. Maybe this will help you. And he basically smacks Santa, like breaks the little elf, like knocks him out. Santa Claus like, attack! And of course, his men attack with snow weaponry. Basically, they shoot. There's little snowball launchers and snowball bazookas and tanks that shoot snowballs. And I love how we can get away with this. We get away with like all this military stuff. But again, if it's shooting snowballs, it's fine.
And Dragon, that's the thing. That's kind of one of the things that kind of came to me when I was rewatching the show. Is that, my God, this is this is kind of like, this guy's kind of like a Pablo Escobar type or something like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You got it. Yeah.
This dude is like not a good guy in the slightest. Like, this is a very bad man.
But we sand off the edges with the goofy, campy stuff, and it's
Right,
wonderful.
right.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Again, remember, again, in premise, guy had his literally the only two parts of his body that were found were the brain and the stomach.
Oh God.
But again, how do we save that? How do you make that not horrifying? Like, he wakes up and he's in a fridge essentially, and the thing is, before he gets hooked up to the bear, is asking like, you give the brain little cartoon eyes, and that it's perfect. It's not as terrifying as RoboCop 2 at all.
Oh man.
Anyway, so let's see. So they attack. Basically, they take out the elves very easily. Everybody's taking it really easily. And Santa Claus is basically pelted by the snowballs, and this is really effective. You got to be honest. Like, they're like basically you're caught in like a little mountain of snow, and you can't escape. Let's see. So then Major Dr. Ghastly, my favorite character, she enters. Not a lot to do here. Just I love this little bit that she has. And this is Great Allows really bringing it with a small bit here, where Great Allows, Major Dr. Ghastly walks up to Santa Claus saying, "Sorry, Santa." She puts Hector on Santa Claus's head, and the idea is that Hector is now controlling Santa Claus's body. In essence, folks, big trope here. Hector's trying to steal Christmas.
Yes.
Like
but yeah, you're right. You can't tell that Great Delisle's she's kind of putting in this pathos of like, I really don't want to be doing this, but I have to. You know what I mean? So yeah, good stuff there.
So basically, Hector has this new kind of iconic, powerful body of like, okay, well, kids love Santa Claus. The world loves Santa Claus. Therefore, if I become Santa Claus, they're going to bow down to me. Again, very similar to the Invaders in Person special, only here done a lot. Well, I think done a lot more sincerely. Let's say.
Dragon, remind me, did Pinky and the Brain have a similar premise to this?
Well, here they had something. I don't know if he was trying to be Santa Claus. Remember, he had a similar idea where he basically had everyone as beck and call, and he's done that a couple times where people love the brain. So I think he was trying to be Santa Claus. I'm pretty sure. So I think you're right about that. So remember, he could have won. He could have controlled everybody's mind, or at least kind of brainwashed everybody. He told them all to have a happy holiday at the end because of what Pinky laid on him.
Right, yeah. Okay, so anyways, Hector's just kind of gloating in Santa's body, like, this will be perfect! The mind control devices will be able to control everybody!
Of course, monologuing. Classic Bond villain monologuing.
I don't necessarily think that's a Christmas trope, though.
Well, no, I just wanted to throw it out there, though.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, fine, you could say Christmas monologue like the Grinch, and they'll all cry, boo-hoo.
All right, there we go, a Grinch monologue, I'll accept it.
Anyway, so let's see, so okay, so now it's up to the snowman. So apparently the snowman is bearing witness to all of this, as Hector has an unstoppable army of
I love how the snowman is just like, he has like a very pivotal role, but a very small role at the same time.
I love how like youthful and full of hope he is. I gotta tell somebody about this. Where he slides down, of course, a snowman sliding is part of like kind of an action beat in a Rankin Bass special, a little bit of that there, the whole belly whopper thing. Or he's sliding down there, slides down to a cave, and this is where my favorite part of the episode comes into play.
Oh yeah, this is great.
So he enters the lair of a reindeer. No, not that one. Better reindeer, folks. Infinitely better reindeer.
Infinitely better.
Nothing against the old one, but this is like 20 times.
Why can't we get a Christmas special about this guy, like a full hour-long Christmas special?
Like, screw Ben Stiller's Robbie the Reindeer. I don't care.
Oh God, no!
Right?
Ben Stiller's Robbie the Reindeer. I didn't even know anything about that.
That whole. Oh, you really never heard of it? I think it's.
I've really never heard of it.
I'll be shocked if it's not Robbie the Reindeer, but some of them are. That's the thing, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't the same name they used here, so I'm pretty sure it's Robbie. It's what Ben Stiller's name is. Anyway, getting back on point. So, so he goes, it's a reindeer. It's Rupert the Green-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, my God.
Tiki, you might want to describe Rupert for the folks out there.
Rupert is just this muscle-bound, very, very well-spoken reindeer who's kind of cut himself off from society because they don't let him play in the reindeer games, I assume, because he has a physical advantage over the other reindeer.
Which makes tremendous sense when you think about it.
All right, and he is voiced by Dragon
Michael Dorn.
Oh boy!
So of course, with the I Am Weasel connection.
Yes. Yes, that's great.
And of course Michael Dorn, of course, for the kids,
Dragon,
it's
I just love how every voice acting performance Michael Dorn gives, he just comes with such an air of dignity and class.
oh yeah, for the kids out, for the '90s kids like ourselves, we have you have I Am Weasel, and you have for Superman the animated series. I guess you have he played Steel once, and of course for many people another '90s role, mind you. So yes, '90s overall with Michael Dorn. He was kind of his heyday. Star Trek Next Generation, Worf, man, frickin'
Yeah,
Worf,
yeah, yeah.
mother frickin' Worf, Landon and mother frickin' Zach, the quote Daredevil. But anyway, so
Maybe he'll pop up in Picard.
I would love that. Anyway. So, of course, he gets finished 300 million reps. I mean, just showing off at that point. I love the design of this. Just this hulking, awesome look. The coolest reindeer with the voice of Michael Dorn. I want to see 8 specials about this guy.
Right, right.
Let's see. So, of course, we have some exposition about you got to save Christmas, Rubina. Basically, the Christmas exposition, if you will. You have to save
Something
Christmas.
terrible happened. Santa's been taken over at the North Pole.
Exactly. Of course, it's the very well spoken since the reindeer shunned me from their reindeer games.
That doesn't concern me.
He's chosen to live there. I've chosen to live here in isolation. Just awesome, man. I want more of it. It's like the closest thing we've gotten to something like Rupert is in Prep and Landing with the other cool, right? This is like the cool reindeer club, man. Like, forget the reindeer games. Like, that's like the pissant Olympics. I'm talking about like,
God.
the collegial, like, group of, like, the awesome reindeer club. That's like, there's the real Donner Party for you.
Oh man, for sure, for sure.
It's the Richard Donner Party. Forget the Donner Party. We're talking about the Richard Donner Party, like the Lethal Weapon band of reindeers. Anyway,
Oh man.
sorry, getting off my reindeer kick here. Back on.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's a good analogy.
Anyway, so what was I? Oh yeah, so now's your chance to shine as the reindeer that saved Christmas, and this is my favorite part of the whole thing. This beautiful. This is what I'm talking. This is the whole tone of the whole thing. We have this beautiful shot of Rupert just looking up. Just like this. It's like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day, kind of lighting around him. Like it just is Michael Dorn giving like this one word response, like huh, but he has this like, but he has this like like whimsical lip quivering, like oh, just like what? It just made awesome by the like he can do it. And then he flies out of it like practically like a Powerpuff Girls, like a speed trail.
I am convinced. I am convinced that it's the exact same sound effect as the Powerpuff Girl whoosh dragon.
I'd like to think that all the I like to think that the animators, the kind of the show
I'm absolutely sure. Like it sounds so similar.
I mean, look, I'm saying you're probably right. What I'm saying is I'd like to think. I don't know if this is true for all of them, but I know most of the showrunners are friends because Maxwell Adams is friends with the guy who does the Mr. Warburton from Codename Kids Next Door. That's why they crossed over. So I'd like to think maybe Craig McCracken, or Craig McCracken, pretty much, or Gendy Tartakovsky, maybe.
I like to think that Cartoon Network somewhere just has a big soundboard of these effects and anyone can use them.
I think yours is the actual correct one, but I like Mike version. Hey, they're all buddies, but okay, fair enough. Anyway, so right. So yours probably more accurate. But anyway, so they speed it. So he flies off awesomely, like he's freaking Superman, saving Christmas.
Yes.
Let's see. So then we see Hector's workshop. I love that Hector went to the extra mile. Like he just renamed everything. He's just gonna keep it Santa Claus, which kind of defeats the purpose of what he's doing here. It's just like Hector's workshop, Hector's this and that, and
And that's the thing, Dragon. That's the thing is that him being Santa to begin with, we find out means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely.
Like, he could have just stole the presents and just inserted the mind control devices and called it a day. He really didn't need Santa's body at all. And that's kind of like the absurdist touch to this whole situation.
I just needed to knock Santa out and it would have been fine. He's like, oh,
right,
God, it's all done.
Exactly.
Anyway,
okay, so Rupert comes bouncing up to to one of the guards.
What is he bouncing up in?
In a tree, a really ugly Christmas tree.
This is a really ugly Christmas for Diedrich, and of course, it's a little nod to Diedrich Bader, by the way. Of course, who plays Stelgato. Like,
come take a look at this lily ugly Christmas tree.
they both get knocked out. But it's just this. The reindeer's clear. His nose is sticking out of the thing with these giant muscular arms holding these little braids. It's just the perfect design. This is what it's just the first season had this really great design work before. But again, nothing against this ladders. The first one had like these even better. It's like the animated series of Batman. It's like the first look always looked best, and the redesigns they work. But that was never the same. Anyway. Okay, let's see. So he distracts and knocks out the guards. Let's see. So again, this Scar. So Scar and Ghastly, they're walking out of the place, and Scar gets a little bit in the episode here where he's just talking about himself to Ghastly. He's just the strange bumps.
He said the strange bumps would go away with time. I can't tell you how relieved I was.
I can't tell you how relieved I was.
That's a terrible Scar voice on my end. I'm sorry.
It's hysterical if there's like a legion of Scars too. You had Scar, you had the other Scar, and maybe like I'm sure some Scarface from Batman. A few Scar, the other Scarface.
Oh my god, dude, this is a rabbit hole. Yeah, we have
we got 4 freaking Scars, man.
Yeah, we have Lion King. We have
this Scar.
Oh man, I'm sure there's others. Anyways,
yeah, he's listed 4. You have those 2. You have you have Scarface, the villain. You have and then the other Scarface. The others, you have 2 Scarfaces. You have Scarface the dummy from Batman. You have Scarface Tony Montana.
All right.
Anyway, all in good company, I'm sure. Anyway, ridiculous tangent aside here. So Rupert, he kicks some butt. He takes out some guards as you do. Hector continues his plan. He's going to remarking on it, and then that's just like, stop that deer! These 6 men on the deer, they fire snowballs at him. And again, the snowball cans are really effective. Even the mighty reindeer is subjugated by the snowball.
Yeah, it's basically like an avalanche in the form of a bazooka.
I love it. Very effective in trapping people, and then basically says, "There's nothing you can do to stop me." And then Tig is one of my favorite lines in the whole thing. Just the way Michael Dorn delivers this, it's just so PSA-y. I love it.
Take control of yourself, Santa. Fight his mind control.
Now, there's like a Tinkerbell moment to the audience here where he says, "Come on, Santa, I know you can hear me." I just love it. It's like if you convey wagging a finger in voiceover, that's how you would say it.
Oh God.
The children of the world depending on you. This reaches Santa Claus. He removes Hector from his head, throws him on the ground. Of course, breaks, shatters completely. And he says, "Guards, guards!" As he's just kind of crawling away, his little brain on the floor. Guards attack only, and like now the snowballs are because it's Christmas. The snowballs are now repelled off of Santa's belly and everything. Because now it's not a surprise attack, I guess. Logic. So then they all fall back to the ship. They all fall back to the ship. We have it's a little happy. Boskov doesn't really do a lot here. Basically, Boskov, it's a little happy moment. He just kind of puts Hector back in a little brain jar. It's like, okay, back to the status quo. Dum.
Yeah, right.
So they all get back on the ship. We have a lot of toys. There are a lot of toys delivered. We have a lot of toys. I've delivered the toys to the children myself. We're basically still going to deliver all the mind control toys. Basically, plan on still.
That's what I'm saying, Dragon. They really didn't need the Santa's body for any of this.
And you're absolutely right. And then, of course, we have another great line. Take him.
Oh my God! Yes. Hit him
with it.
Well, hold on. Set it up for me. Set it up what Santa says.
Okay, Santa Claus says something along the lines of, "The children, the mind control devices in the toys."
And then Rupert, he just looks up with all the gusto of the world, man. He's just like, oh man, this reindeer's pissed, Dragon. This reindeer's pissed. He can't take it anymore.
Yes.
And he just, oh God, I'm sorry, it's just so ridiculous.
It's awesome, though.
These people have no honor.
These people have no honor.
And he flies up like a Powerpuff Girl.
Minus the awesome theme.
Breaks through the roof.
Yep, Hector's gonna drop him off himself. Of course, he breaks through there. Remember how he gets in there though? He fires the laser from his nose.
Right. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, look at Rupert from like a superhero power point of view. It's like he can fly. like Superman. He's got strength, like probably, I don't know. I would say, would you say like maybe not Hulk level, but I would say probably like super strength level at the very least, like maybe Mr. Incredible level. Let's say that much.
Maybe would you
Um,
go to say Thor is Thor too much?
I think Thor's too much. I would stick to Mr. Incredible.
That's fair. I buy that. All right. Basically, Mr. Incredible
Um,
could try and shoot stuff from his nose. All right.
yeah, he can shoot stuff with his nose. He can fly. I mean, this dude's a formidable superhero for sure.
Awesome. He fires a beam which cuts into the ship, so he boards it. He beats him up. He grabs the sleigh. It basically does a little, maybe a little homage to the Grinch. The whole he's lifting the sleigh over his head as he just kind of leaps out. Plays awesomely. He just grabs it and hops out. Makes no sense how big a hole that was given the sleigh, but doesn't matter. Who cares? Jumps through. Merry Christmas, suckers! It's like this is the reindeer. If Mr. T were Santa Claus, this is the reindeer he would ride.
Oh, you're damn right.
So anyway, let's see, the ship goes down, the ship crashes. Meanwhile, Christmas is back on, and what does Santa ask? What's the big question? Of course, the biggest trope of all, right here, the biggest reference of all of them.
Rupert, with your muscles and might, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
It would be my honor. Yay! We just had the one. This is the Maxwell Adams humor player. We just have again. It's like we're basking in the whimsy, but at the same time we're undercutting the whimsy too. We just have the one up saying "Yay!"
And
of course,
then speaking of undercutting the whimsy, we cut back to the Shirley Adler snowman, and what's up with him, Dragon?
Oh well, he's never going to get ahead in life. He's just reading stories all the day long here. Basically, he read the story by the fireplace that his body is melted. And he's just, but what happened to Hector? Of course, so with that too, I do wonder though if you want to really read into it darkly, maybe this reading this story is like his last ditch. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go out Christmassy. If I'm gonna do anything left, I just can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna read this Christmas story and then no. Anyway, then we.
So what happens with Hector, Dragon? They get coal. They all get coal. It's a coaly Christmas.
And back on the Bunny Island, by the way, I just want to mention I do love the Bunny Island design. It's just more ridiculous. He's on like this giant bunny-shaped island, like Hugh Hefner's island, let's call it.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so and of course Hector has we have the Santa Claus passing over, like oh ho ho, and we have just the great line from Hector here. I always liked Halloween better anyway. Just wonderful. Now we have like a little infomercial at the very end here, like a little disclaimer, I guess.
It's a disclaimer, yeah. Merry Christmas is a trademark of the Xmas Corporation and should not be repeated without written permission.
That's great.
All right,
it's gotta be like a little memo thing whenever animated shows do Christmas specials. It's gotta be like a little memo thing where you have to, or basically you might have to jump through hoop about doing. Maybe in the early days, I don't know, a little headcanon, I guess. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, final thoughts. Go ahead.
Final thoughts. Keep it simple. Well, maybe not the best introduction to Evil Con Carne, but again, this is more like a reflection. Maxwell Adams' statement on Christmas specials and the Rankin Bass stuff, and just kind of like Christmas as a whole. Again, has that fusion of whimsy as well as I'm basically repeating myself. It has that fusion of whimsy and cynicism, but it's like a proper mix, man. A proper mix that kind of satiates you. And yeah, it feels really kind of proper for a Christmas in July. It's like it's Christmas, but not really. It's awesomely absurd and simple though. In 6 minutes, you're in, you're out. It's a steel Christmas plot. You don't need much more than that, but it's a lot of fun. Again, Rupert the Green-Nosed Reindeer. Need I say more, folks? Need I say more?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one for sure. It's an in and out sort of thing. I watched it like 4 or 5 times before coming on here just to get all the jokes and punchlines down, just because I think they're really well written and really well delivered. I think it's very rewatchable in that regard. If I could just enjoy myself, so watching it like sitting down for like 20 minutes and watching it 4 times in a row. So yeah, a lot of fun with it. So let's mark down the tropes because there's quite a few of them in 6 minutes.
All right, you start us off.
Okay, let's see. We have the snowman. We have the storybook framing device. We have the Christmas that almost never happened. Let's see. We have kind of like the villain trying to steal Christmas. We have the ostracized reindeer.
Yes, we have the, of course, a little bit of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and there's generally Rankin Bass tone with a lot of it. We have a little bit of like some Grinch kind of homages. They have some Grinch-like shots there, like holding the sleigh, a little kind of like the and the just kind of like you have kind of a Grinch monologue, just to kind of give the monologue a little bit of a Christmassy edge, I guess.
Uh,
Um, Santa Claus, basically someone trying to, basically a cartoon villain taking over the literal North Pole because we had that with Inspector Gadget with Doctor Claw. Bit of that in there. The bad guys getting cold at the end. Let's see, just Christmas tree that thing with the get up with the costume.
uh-huh.
I'm trying to think if there's anything more. Snowman melting.
Yeah, I sure, I would put that in there.
I mean,
Even though it's very underplayed in this episode, it is in there.
okay, I'm gonna go deep cuts. I'm gonna go to Hanna-Barbera deep cuts
Oh man.
here. Okay,
Okay.
so Yogi Bear Christmas special where you have the reluctant villain, where you have more or less a reluctant villain, more like kind of your antagonist who has a change of heart. In this case, I can't say change of heart. I'm going to say you have Major Doctor Ghastly, who's kind of reluctant in like acting as a villain around the holidays.
Sure. I'll give you that one. All right.
And yeah, this, I guess Christmas joy overseeding villainy with Santa Claus fighting the mind control.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christmas PSA, that's more of a stretch, but hey, Christmas PSA tone.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Well, Tiki, we get to the end of something like this, and I tell you, man, I just can't help but ponder and ponder and ponder till my ponderer can't take it no more. I just wonder, after all 5 freaking seasons, 5 and counting, getting into the 6th, Christmas in July, we can't think of a name for this wonderful winter in the summery process, man. It's baffling to me. It's utterly baffling. Tiki, I'm racking my brain in a jar right now. It's turning into bacon. Save me, would you? I've racked it as long as I can. I've thought for 53 years I put up with this now. Can you please, oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please, help me come up with a snappy term. We need like an eye catcher, man. We need something we can put on a greeting card. We can be the first Christmas in July card. If we can only have like a catchy something like a catch-all. Let me frame it that way. A catch-all sort of phrase as to what we do. We kind of list off the tropes. We just kind of bask in what makes Christmas special way before it's even Christmas. Do you have anything for me, man? Do you?
All right. What about putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
I like it.
Oh man, you just wow, that was an assault there. All right, next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
Fa la
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 la la.
la.
I like Halloween better anyway.